Hiring your first employee in your striping business might be a terrifying experience. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why you might be hesitating to find an employee, and I'm also going to share with you 3 ways that you can find rock star people to work with you in your striping company. All right, what's up guys? Cam Roberts from the Stripe It Like It's Hot podcast. In this video, I want to talk about hiring people. From my personal experience, the first time I went to go hire somebody was an absolutely terrifying, nerve-wracking experience. I had all sorts of doubts and questions. I didn't know how to do it, didn't know where to find people. And so what I found in connecting with other business owners in striping is that they have a very similar concern. They don't know when the right time is to hire people. So I'll share with you some of the tips that helped me, and it's actually still part of the process that we use today in deciding when do we hire people. So one of the big things as to why I was slow to hire somebody is I just felt like, what if I'm not busy enough in my striping? What if I don't have enough striping jobs and I hire this person and I just quite simply can't keep them busy? They're going to hate me, they're going to leave, and they will tarnish my name forever and ever and ever. And that's a legitimate concern, I think, for a lot of striping business owners. So one thing that you need to remember though is when you hire an employee for the first time, chances are it's going to be a part-time employee, maybe somebody who only works 2-3 days a week. Don't feel like you're obligated to give this person 40 hours a week and you are completely committed to ensuring that they have that 40 hours. Some people don't want that. The really important thing is to identify with whatever person you're interviewing or with the kind of person you want to interview. How many hours a week do you actually want to work? So in my experience, I held back from hiring for this reason the most out of all the reasons, because I was convinced that if I couldn't provide that enough hours, that person was going to hate me. So one thing that I discovered though is with my first employee is that I hired a younger person who was around 17, 18 years old. They were still in school, still very helpful. They came out with me to striping jobs, but this person didn't really care if we worked 4 nights a week or 1 night a week. In fact, this person didn't care if they got noticed like that day that, hey, the weather's no good, you're not going to be able to work. He would just shrug his shoulders and say, okay, no problem, try again tomorrow. A lot of people out there are like that. They don't need a firm, strong commitment of like full-time work. A lot of people out there are totally cool to just work when they're able to. So just remember that when you're trying to find people. And that leads to the second pretty common reason why you might be hesitating to find somebody is you feel like no one's going to be able to accommodate this goofy schedule that we have with striping, right? A lot of the striping work that we do is obviously like in the evenings, maybe overnight, but you do have projects that you do during the day. And I know for myself, I was like, how am I ever going to find someone who's willing to work with me in the same goofy work schedule that I do? But same thing, if you are open and transparent with people during the process of trying to find an employee and just tell them like, man, this is a pretty variable schedule. You might not be able to get 20 or 30 hours every week. Some weeks it might be less, and some of those shifts might be in the evenings and overnight. Just be upfront and tell people what you're willing to do with them. So one thing that I did was I told my first employee, like, hey, like most of the work we're going to do is at night and overnight, but if we do have to do a project during the day, I'll be sure to give you at least 24 hours to be able to reset and get some sleep so you can get yourself back on day shift. And as long as you are communicating with people what you're planning on doing, usually it'll work out, because as long as you communicate it, they can know what's happening and they can agree to it, and they won't be upset with you when their schedule is variable from evenings or day shifts. And then finally, a third pretty common reason, at least it was a reason for me, why I was pretty slow and hesitant to hire employees for the first time was I just didn't have a great system, like at all, for hiring people and onboarding somebody and payroll and all those little quirks that come in with bringing somebody on. I didn't have like standard operating procedures. I didn't have training manuals. It was basically the first person who worked with me was like, just hop in the truck with me. We'll go to a job site and I'll show you how to paint stuff. Don't let that hold you back from hiring people though. When companies first start out, if this is a newer company for you in your striping business and it's starting to get really busy and you know that you need to start hiring people to help with this, don't hold back from hiring just because you don't have those systems dialed in. Again, this goes right back to communicating with people. Tell them right up front that, hey, Like, I'm a growing company, you're one of the first people to ever work here, so I don't have a lot of those systems built yet. Are you cool with coming to work with me even though I don't have those in place? I can still give you a great job, I can show you how to do all the stuff. As long as you're upfront with people, don't worry. Those systems and those things that you learn along the way come with time. You can make them up as you go. Just make sure that you set the standard and the expectations with people that want to come work with you. So one other problem you might have is, where do I find these people to come work with me in my young, newer striping business? So here's 3 things that you can think about where you could find people to join forces with you as you take over the striping universe. Number 1, don't hesitate at all to put your story on social media. Like, tell the story of who you are, the company that you have, the fact that you're relatively new or small and that you're growing and looking for people. Put that out into your marketing content on social media. I love social media for younger companies because it costs $0. You can make an account for free and immediately take out your phone and take a super cool video of yourself telling people like, hey, I'm a newer striping company and I'm looking for somebody who wants to learn this to come join up and work with me. Let me know if that interests you. Now, if you tell that story consistently over time and put that into Instagram posts or stories or a Facebook business page, people will start to follow along and realize that, hey, like, that person is looking for somebody. I don't know anything about striping, but I would love to come learn that, right? And sometimes the best people see that and they register that in their brain that that's somebody that they could work with, and you could attract some really good people that way. Another great thing that you can do when you're looking for people is ask for referrals. People referrals are awesome. They've been huge in my business. So if you don't have any employees right now, obviously you can't go to an employee and ask them, who do you know that would like to work with us? That's a great place to start, though. Even if you have one employee, if that employee is happy, chances are they're going to want people that they know, either friends or other business acquaintances, to come work alongside with you guys. Because if you have a good work culture and people are happy, they're going to naturally want to bring people along the ride with them. So always start with your current people and just ask them, like, hey man, do you know anyone else who you think would want to come work with us? If you don't have any employees, that's totally fine. Go to other people that you do business with. This could be like your vendors. One thing that I did is I went to one of our local paint reps here, a business development rep. So his job is literally to help me grow my business so that I can buy more stuff from him. And part of that process of building your business is people. So go to somebody like your paint store, your paint rep, and ask them, like, do you know anyone who would, you know me, do you know anyone who would like a chance to come work with me and learn striping? If your paint reps or your vendors and other people like you, they're going to want to refer people to you for a chance to work with you. And then if all else fails, just ask around with other people you know, friends, family members, people you trust. Let them know what you're doing and ask them if they know anyone who wants an opportunity with a newer company to learn something cool, something new. You can usually get some pretty good talent that way. And then last but not least, there's always a myriad of options online to put job advertisements. So that would be places like Indeed, other places where you can post simple job ads. I'm not against it at all, especially when you're starting, right? When you're just starting out in striping and you need that first 1 or 2 employees, like, you don't have a great system for hiring. So it's not that you'll hire anyone, but you'll have a lower threshold of the kind of person you want. And so sometimes just putting out a job ad on a place like Indeed or a job board on Facebook in your local market might get you somebody who maybe they're younger, maybe they lost their job for some reason and they just want a shot doing something. And sometimes you can get the right person at the right time who's just in between something and willing to work with you for a paint season. Or maybe you get really fortunate and you find someone who's with you for the long haul. So hopefully that helps you. Don't hesitate from reaching out to people, asking for referrals, trying to find someone to help you grow your business. Employees are a huge part of that. And not just for you, but it's pretty cool when you have a striping business or an asphalt, a seal coating business, and you can give somebody a job opportunity and help them grow along with you. Makes the whole business experience a lot better. So if you guys need any help with employee hiring, retention tips, reach out to me anytime. I would love to help you grow your business by finding great talent to help you.